His main's mined out at the moment. His natural expansion probably not doing too well either, but he has his mineral only going, has that lower right-hand position. Might soon enough move in to pick up another base, but he's done so much economic damage to BeSt that I really don't feel Flash needs to focus too heavily and put up another base. Going to move out with vultures, plant a bunch of mines on the middle just to force BeSt's forces to move out very slowly. They're going to be forced to clear out all those mines out in the field. Going to be forced to have those observers alongside Flash. I really liking this very vulture-heavy play from Flash. He's going to give him a lot of opportunities. He's going to scan the upper left-hand position again. Going to scan every position, move in, try to find positions to move in with vultures, to do a bunch of damage, to pick off probes. And if he continues doing this slowly and all, he's going to wear BeSt out. Just going to be able to do a lot of damage. Going to yet again move in here, plant down a lot of probes. Almost got those dragged into his own vultures. Did have enough sense of time there to move those out, sense of position. Going to meanwhile be pushed back with these vultures again, but really has a lot of, usually by this point I see Terrans, okay, a lot of SCVs just standing there near the middle not doing anything. That's wondering whether they're kind of finding themselves a place to go yet. But at this point I usually teach third players have a lot more in the ways of tanks, a few more Goliaths out in the field, and science vessels. I don't think I've seen a single science vessel out for Flash yet. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've seen a single, no, okay, never mind, I'm wrong. There are science vessels out there. I'm just being lazy and blind, and my glasses aren't working. That's my excuse. But Flash has gone very, very vulture heavy, and I like this because it's going to allow him a lot of maneuverability, going to allow him absolute vision of the map and map control. He's going to go around. They're going to be able to do a lot of harassment if he finds an opening, and if BeSt doesn't do anything to prevent this, he's going to be in trouble. And just to try to get some sort of level of syncing going, Deja, fix yourself up if you can. Covert Ops Mule going to come up down here for Flash. Remo's going to go in for something crazy. I'm going to end this with, I'm at 21-15 right now.
Yeah, I'm about right where you are. I saw that covert up goes up pretty much exactly when you said, so I think we're back in sync. I think we're in good shape here. And with those SCVs milling around in the middle, I think it's going to be one of two things. One is that he made a mistake and brought them there, but I don't think that's it. I think what actually is going on is that he's got two bases mined out, and his other two bases are at such high saturation that he doesn't need any more SCVs. So what he's doing is when these vulture forays are going out trying to do harassment on probes, those SCVs aren't great at it, but they're better than nothing at least being a wall to Zealots, at least being something that will get in the Zealots' way. And I think that's all they really are there for, is just to pseudo, kind of, in a way, replace the vultures. As you said, he's produced so many vultures and has gone out on so many different campaigns around the map. And I am so impressed that somehow BeSt has a huge army that looks like it's very, very near to maxed out. I have no idea how he has that. And Flash looks like he's pulling back into his main. I have absolutely no reason why. I don't think there's any recall there, and I do not know why he's pulling back so far. Maybe it's because he's going for those nukes, and he's like, I am so far ahead that I'm just going to start having fun. Maybe he's blowing up a comm station. I don't know, something random, because I can't really perceive of any other reason to do that. We've got so many SCVs sitting around. He really wants these nukes. He really wants those nukes, or he's going for a lockdown. I hope it's nukes. I really hope it's nukes. And just gonna put that out there once again, that I really love nukes. And it looks like Arbiter and Force are going to the 12 o'clock position where BeSt is throwing up that new expansion. Going to try and take that. That is actually a very dangerous expansion to take, because tanks from inside of Flash's base can actually hit the right side of that base. So that's going to be really hard for BeSt to hold if Flash decides to push it. He can have forces in there, but the forces inside of that base can certainly be hit from inside of Flash's base, and that's bad for him. And it looks like BeSt is trying to set up, I don't know what he's trying to set up with those Dragoons, maybe trying to pick off some of those turrets or something like that, going to try and open up a spot where his Arbiter can get in there and at least do some sort of recall. And we do have another command center going up right next to another command center. So when two command centers are going next to each other at this stage in the game, there's only one reason. That's for a nuclear silo. So we are going to see some nukes, people, and I hope you guys are excited for this as I am. Flash has decided that he doesn't want an extra base because he wants to entertain all of us with nukes. So thank you, Flash. Normally you have such a robotic play that's so perfect that sometimes it's borderline boring, but this game with your vulture play and with now nukes, I take that all back. This is incredibly entertaining play from Flash, and I am so excited to see how he decides to how he decides to nuke, and if BeSt can find a way to stop this.
It's going to be absolutely insane. BeSt, meanwhile, has taken that 12. He's got a lot of probes moving towards the location, has a lot of Arbiters in play. Let's see, has his natural pretty much mined out in his main as well. Still living at the upper left, has a bunch of force down the ground, and Flash is going to play a little bit defensively, has his first ghost out on the way from that rank. It's going to be out pretty soon. Already out right now. I'm going to see how he is upgrade-wise. He's going to is he gonna attempt this from his own base? This would be insane if he somehow managed. I'm not quite sure if he can actually manage to range that.
He's got range.
Oh crikey, he's gonna. Oh man, he could be. BeSt could be in a lot of trouble here. He might lose that 12 o'clock if he doesn't spot this out. I don't even know. He probably has scouted this at this point. At least for his sake, I hope he has. But if he has no idea this is coming at him, this might catch him completely by surprise. We're continuing macro him up at the moment, adding in 4 more gateways. Of course, just best known as a macro beast for a reason. Bro still has apparently enough psi left over that he can continue macroing some ground force and put down some gateways. Going to clear up the 6 o'clock position. I assume that's so he can take that base. At least he's spotting that Flash not going for yet another base. It might surprise him a little bit. Might be thinking, okay, Flash, what are you doing exactly? I mean, I know I'm a BeSt ahead of you right now. Why do you continue to let that happen? I think he might have, oh yeah, a couple of pot shots taken at that observer with the ghost. So BeSt definitely knows what could happen here. Still has his probes inside. He has his cannons alongside. But I think if the ghost, of course, can range from there, it's going to be able to drop the nuke. And no problems otherwise. At the moment, he's just building it. Flash, meanwhile, rearranging some of his forces, moving out. Wondering if he's going to try to do some damage. He has that, well, that was a very has there, but, Hahim, no, I'm sorry, has that science vessel sitting there. Of course, that is for the EMP. As soon as the nuke drops down, he's going to drop an EMP on that Nexus. That's going to take away the shield. Then the nuke is going to kill it in one shot. And that's going to happen right now. EMP did go off. Nuclear launch detected. That nuke is going to go down. Absolutely nothing to prevent it. And I'm just wondering if Flash is BeSt is gonna move something out of the way. EMPing! Oh, EMPing the Arbiter as he does that. Oh man, nuke's gonna go off. Goodbye, Nexus. Actually missing the probes. I don't think there was a single probe kill, and they're picking off the Nexus. And BeSt was like, oh Christ, can't believe I allowed that to happen. But he's still moving around the field of Arbiters, and Flash is giving us a show. This is the Flash network, ladies and gentlemen. He's not even playing StarCraft. He's so far ahead, he doesn't care at the moment. Yet another Arbiter going to go in. Is going to get a recall off, but this was mostly there just, he's going to be able to sack all these turrets, going to pick all of them off, but I really think Flash is going to have enough forces to come in here to pick this off. He's also going to have EMPs to help him out, so I think this little skeleton force forces of BeSt is really not going to manage to do much. BeSt is going to take the 6 o'clock, so he's at very least trying to get back into this game. He's going to be 2 bases over Flash. So if Flash doesn't do some sort of troop damage to BeSt, he could be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to lost all of his turrets. Going to lose, I think he lost the racks there. Going to lose some supply depots alongside, but don't really think he's going to lose too much. Also going to siege up at that 6 o'clock. So Flash still staying in the game, and that nuke, of course, something absolutely beautiful to observe.
Those 12 and 6 o'clock positions are just so hard to hold as a Protoss versus a Terran that I think Flash is just playing around. It really feels like Flash is just entertaining himself because there's no reason to go for nukes unless you really think you're in that great of position, which I think he does. And even though, I mean, this is a nice push coming out here from BeSt. I mean, if he wanted to arb some stasis, he could, and he stasis one tank, but he doesn't need any. He's got that many. Oh my god, he stasis all of the SCVs! That is so funny. That is cool as hell. These guys are definitely having some fun with this game. You know, you don't often see players having fun in the quarterfinals of a Star League, but this is actually a pretty entertaining game from these two guys. You know, it looks like BeSt is coming back into this, and BeSt might actually have a big advantage, but I have this feeling that Flash knows that he's just so far away that he can deal with this, because I can't imagine a player like Flash would possibly throw away a game that he had such a astronomical advantage in. So even though this is looking good for BeSt, I have faith that Flash knows what he's doing and isn't going to be made a goat out of himself after playing around with nukes. At least I hope so, because that would just be really depressing if he finds a way to lose this game. And those SCVs finally coming out of stasis, and they are coming in here to block those zealots with some decent success there. So yeah, doing a little bit of a decent job there. And he's not mining anymore. I think the mineral only, and I believe the bottom right is very close to mined out if they're not completely mined out. But Flash has to have such a huge bank. When you think about the forces he's lost. And normally when you're off of 4 bases in TVP, you've lost several rounds, several armies when you get to the 30-minute mark. Flash has lost the equivalent of maybe close to 1 maxed army, about-ish over the course of this game. So he's probably still got a pretty nice bank. And you can tell by the map that BeSt is still mining off of a lot of bases, so he hasn't spent or doesn't have in the bank nearly as many minerals. So Flash does have that going for him, that he doesn't really need a base quite yet. If this does go on for another like 10 minutes, then he will need one, that's for sure. And this engagement is getting very, very interesting. Looks like most of the forces for BeSt have gone down. He does need some reinforcing zealots,